Hello students, today we will start a very interesting chapter called evolution. Evolution is a very important happening in all the life processes. And if we talk about the simple meaning of evolution, evolution simply means change. Evolution simply means change. And that change occurs in different forms of life also. Changes that may happen in stars and planets, changes may happen in elements and the matters, and changes is happening in living organisms. So if we talk about the term evolution, evolution simply means change, and that change can be change in stars and planets, in between its origin and death, that might be called stellar evolution. This is also called stellar evolution, that explain about how changes is occurring, how the change is occurring in the stars and planets. Change in matter and elements. This is also called a kind of inorganic evolution, and changes that is happening in life forms, in the living organisms. This is also called biological evolution or organic evolution. So any kind of change that is happening in our earth, even before the formation of earth, if we talk about changes that occurs in universe before the formation of earth, changes that happens in stars, planets, that is called stellar evolution. Changes that happens in matters and elements, that is called inorganic evolution. And whatever the changes that is occurring in living organisms, so that simpler living organisms get converted into more complex form, this is called a kind of biological evolution, or also called organic evolution. So we talk about the terms evolution. The term evolution was coined by a scientist, Herbert Spencer. Remember that name? The term evolution was first used by a scientist, Herbert Spencer. And Herbert Spencer said that evolution is a process that convert simpler form of life in the past into the most complex form, or we can say it is a change that convert simpler life forms into more complex structure. So Herbert Spencer said that what is evolution? Evolution is a change that convert simpler form of life into more complex form. Clear? According to Darwin, Darwin is a very famous name in the science of evolution. Darwin said that evolution is a kind of branching descent or something called branch descent with modification. According to Darwin, what is evolution? Evolution is descent with modification. So according to Darwin, what is evolution? Evolution is descent with modification. Or we can simply say how human beings evolved from monkey, how amphibia evolved from Pisces, and how chordates evolved from non-chordates. All these information we can gather by the detailed study of evolution only. So it is a very vast topic which covers lots of things regarding different aspects of evolution, in which we talk about origin of earth also. We talk about origin of first life also. We talk about evidences of evolution. We talk about theories of evolution. And in the last part, we also discuss about how human beings evolved from their previous ancestors. So basically, if we classify this chapter, complete evolution, this chapter can be classified into various subtopics like so if we talk about how we can classify or distribute this chapter into subtopics, the very first part is origin of earth. In what way earth was evolved. Number two, origin of first life, or we can say it is the concept of origin of life. Number three, it is called evidences in the favor of organic evolution. And the fourth one is theory of evolution. And the last part is the human evolution. So that is the basic subdivision of chapter evolution. That is how earth is formed, how the first life appeared in this earth. And we know that if the first life appeared in very past time, in that first life, various changes happened time to time, and it get converted into more complex form, and that is also called organic evolution. So if organic evolution happened gradually, we must have some kind of evidence. So the third part is called evidences in the favor of organic evolution. And after the evidence, there are several theories which deals with the concept of evolution. And at last, we will discuss about human evolution. So basically, in this chapter, the first thing what we will start, that is the origin of Earth. So the very scientific method, we can say, how Earth is formed, we must know about the concept of Big Bang theory. If we talk about the formation of Earth, in what way it is formed, we discuss about Big Bang theory. Big Bang theory. It must be a kind of hypothesis, but it is said that Big Bang theory, because it happened approximately 15 to 20 billion years back. It is assumed that there was a very large, dense cosmic mass, large, dense cosmic mass, huge cluster of dense cosmic mass, huge cluster of gases, elements, and all that parts. And there was a very huge nuclear explosion, or called thermonuclear explosion. We use the term thermonuclear explosion that happened approximately 15 to 20 billion years ago. 15 to 20 billion years ago. And that explosion fragmented that large dense cosmic mass into several group of stars. This is called group of stars. These are the group of stars, and it is said that after the fragmentation, several fragmented part comes in a group, and it develop into galaxy. And there are several galaxies. There are millions of galaxies in the universe, and each galaxy contains millions of stars. And it is said that all the galaxies are still moving apart from each other. Remember, as we say, as it is said that universe is still expanding. What is the reference behind it? It is assumed that our galaxies are still moving apart from each other, and that's why it is said that our universe is still expanding. So there are several galaxies in our universe. These are the different galaxies. And what basically galaxy is? Galaxy is a group of stars. One galaxy may contains millions of stars, and we know that our galaxy is Milky Way, or it is also termed as Akash Ganga. Is the name of our galaxy. And what actually that Akash Ganga is? In present context, what is that Akash Ganga? In a very clear sky, if you move to your rooftop and see in the clean sky, and that should be very clear sky. No cloud is there, in a very cloudless sky in the night. How many stars, whatever the number of stars is there, it's all the part of Akashganga. So that it means whatever we see in the sky in the night, all the number of stars what we can see is all the part of our Milky Way or Akashganga. And we know that the sun is the most nearest star. The sun is the most nearest star, and it is assumed that in that Akashganga there are several stars. One of the star, that is sun, and from the sun approximately 5,000 millions year ago, a part of sun is broken and it developed into initial part of earth. So it is assumed that the earth is formed approximately 5,000 millions year ago as a broken part of sun. Remember? There are so many planets around the sun. Earth is a planet of sun. And earth is formed approximately 5,000 millions year ago. And it is all the evidence that we get from paleontological evidences also, fossils record also, or the life of the rock that is present in earth. So approximately it is said that earth is formed approximately 5,000 millions year ago as a broken part of sun. But we know that in the initial earth the temperature was very high. There was very mild atmosphere around the earth. The atmosphere what we see today, it was not like that in the previous time. So in the initial part of earth, or at the time of formation of earth, the earth temperature was very high, and it is said that initially the earth temperature was nearly 6,000 degree centigrade when it was broken from the sun approximately 5,000 million years ago. Now what happened after the initial formation of earth, or when earth was formed, it was not like today's earth. There are several changes that happened in the earth surface, in the earth part, and slowly earth becomes more stable, and that is roughly around 4.6 billion years ago. Remember, initiation of earth formation that was happened nearly 5,000 million years ago, or we can say it is 5 billion years ago. But the stable earth, we talk about stable earth was formed approximately 4.6 billion years ago. So it is the basic summary how earth is formed. First of all, we talk about Big Bang theory that happened 15 to 20 billion years ago. And what was Big Bang? It was a huge thermonuclear explosion in a very large, dense, huge cosmic mass. And after that explosion, the fragmented part of that cosmic mass makes the large number of galaxies. In that galaxy, our galaxy name is Milky Way or Akashganga. Akashganga also contains millions of stars, and from the stars, and from those stars, from the stars, one of the stars, that is the part of sun, has broken down in a smaller fragment, and that is the part of Earth, and it happened approximately 5,000 million years ago. So that is the basic summary of formation of Earth. Now, what is the structure of initial, or we can say, how was the Earth when it was initially formed? Look at here. So initially Earth was like this. There was central part of core, the middle part of mantle, and it was the crust. And outside the crust, we talk about the primitive atmosphere. According to the distribution of elements, the Earth's surface can be divided into three different layers, we can say. It is core, mantle, and crust. It is assumed that core contains the ores of nickel, iron, etc., the oxides, the carbonates, different kind of ores of iron and nickel, mainly present in the part of core. If we talk about mantle, mantle basically contains the ores of silicon, aluminum, magnesium, and it is assumed that because of high temperature, initially the crust was the crust with atomic, we can say lighter atomic elements, like the part of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and initially it was all in atomic form, and slowly that atom get fused and forms bigger compound or bigger molecules. But initially we can say the crust surface with the elements in the very gaseous form, atomic form, we can say, that is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, or we can say phosphorus, etc. The lighter elements in the gaseous form, in atomic form. So that is all about the initial part of Earth. And it is said that during the initial condition, the atmosphere was highly reducing because there is no molecular oxygen, there is no molecular oxygen in the atmosphere. So that atmosphere was highly reducing because of lack of free molecular oxygen. Even after the initiation of the Earth formation, what happened later on? This carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, these atoms get fused into simpler molecular form, like they get fused to form CH4, ammonia, H2. Even H2O was formed, but all was in the form of vapors. HCN, CO, CO2, etc. But look at here, methane, ammonia, hydrogen, H2O. H2O was in the form of vapors, HCN, CO, CO2, etc. But there was no free molecular oxygen during the initial part of Earth formation. And in the atmosphere, there was no free molecular oxygen. And that's why we can say Earth was highly reducing in the initial time. So that is all about the formation of initial part of Earth, how Earth formation happened. And after the Earth formation, now we talk about the process of origin of life, how the first life appeared in the Earth. It is very much clear that the life appears from the non-living things only, because that is the basic component from which life appears. So in present scenario, it is said that life appears only from non-living things, but it happens very gradually, slowly. Life did not come spontaneously or sudden. It's a very slow process that happens gradually, and it took millions of years before the existence of first life. So after all these formation, or we can say a formation of Earth, now if we talk about how the Earth, after the Earth formation, how the first life appeared in that the crust area, the crust part, it deals with the second concept, that is called origin of life.